If you've ever had someone you trust turn into your biggest source of betrayal, you know the kind of cold rage I'm talking about. Not the fiery, screaming kind of anger. The dead, hollow kind that settles into your bones and makes you realize you were sleeping next to a stranger. It started slow. I wasn't even looking for signs. Why would I? I thought we were good. I thought we were building a life together. 2 good jobs, 1 beautiful daughter, a tiny house we were slowly making our own. I started making more money after I got promoted at work. A big step up, real benefits, bonuses, the whole thing. For the first time ever, I wasn't stressed about bills. We had a little breathing room. I even opened a savings account just for my daughter, planning ahead for her future. I was so proud. I thought he was proud too. But then weird things started happening. Little stuff at first. A missing 100 here, an odd charge there. I thought maybe I forgot a bill. Maybe I didn't track something right. I mean, life's hectic when you're juggling full-time work and raising a kid. But then it got worse. Hundreds gone, then thousands, gone without a trace. And every time I asked him if he noticed anything weird, he shrugged and said, "Maybe you just spent more than you thought." Gaslighting 101. And I bought it, because I loved him, because I wanted to believe him. The worst hit came on my daughter's birthday. She had been begging for this expensive art set. A big one, with real oil paints and an easel and all kinds of crazy stuff. She's insanely talented, way better at 11 than I was at 20. I promised her I'd get it. She was so excited, literally counted down the days. And when the day came, I logged into my account and it wasn't there. The money was gone. Thousands missing overnight. I couldn't afford it. I had to sit her down and tell her that her present would be a little delayed. She smiled and said it was okay, but I saw it. The disappointment, the confusion, the hurt she didn't want to show. That night I sat in the bathroom and cried until my ribs hurt. Not just from sadness, from rage. After that, I started tracking everything. Every cent, every transaction. I cross-referenced receipts. I printed bank statements. And the pattern slapped me in the face. My husband, withdrawing cash every week, hiding it, spending it, mostly on stupid nights out with his friends, bars, clubs, poker games. Thousands gone into beers, strippers, and bad bets. All while telling me I was overthinking. All while smiling at our daughter at the dinner table. I didn't confront him right away. I needed proof. I needed it to be undeniable. So I waited. I let him dig himself deeper. Watch him withdraw another $400 the day after he said he was working late. And then I dropped the hammer. Sat him down, showed him the statements, showed him the withdrawal slips, showed him screenshots of him flashing cash on a friend's Instagram story like a goddamn idiot. Watched every ounce of bullshit drain out of his face. He tried to lie, of course. Tried to say it was for the family. Tried to say he was gonna pay it back. Tried to cry, tried to beg. I didn't yell. Didn't scream, didn't give him the satisfaction of seeing me broken. I told him to pack his shit and get out. Changed the locks, changed my number, filed for divorce, filed fraud charges too, because fuck him. He thought marriage made it impossible to charge him for theft. He was wrong. It's been a year now. I bought my daughter that art set, and a new room to paint in. She's won 2 local contests already. We're good, better than good, we're free. I'm still healing. Still learning to trust myself again. But every time I see my daughter paint, smiling and free, I remember. We don't owe loyalty to people who betray us. No matter what promises they made. No matter what dreams we built with them. You protect your peace. You protect your child. And you protect your damn money. Never again. You ever try to do something good for your life, and your family acts like it's a personal betrayal? Like you getting better is somehow you turning evil? Yeah, same. I didn't grow up rich. Far from it. 3 kids, 1 income, shared bedrooms, ramen and ketchup meals. So when I started making money from my little YouTube channel, doing makeup tutorials and dumb GRWM stories, it felt like I was finally breaking the cycle. At first, it was pennies. Then brands started sliding into my inbox. Then my first sponsor deal hit. Suddenly I was paying off my student loans and not crying every time I opened my bank app. And at first, my family was proud. Mom sent my videos to all her friends. My sister was like, "OMG queen, you're blowing up." My grandma even called me famous, which was both hilarious and kind of sweet. But then it shifted, like slowly, like a fog. It wasn't, congrats, anymore. It was, must be nice. It was, don't forget where you came from. It was, you wouldn't have any of this without us. It was never said directly, it was the tone. The little jabs. The sarcastic comments when I didn't pay for dinner. The guilt trips when I skipped a family event because I had work. Then came the, we need to talk, messages. The family meetings. The full-on interventions where they sat me down and told me I'd changed. That I was self-absorbed now. That money was getting to my head. All because I stopped paying my mom's bills every month. All because I didn't offer to fund my brother's little gaming PC setup. All because I decided to save some of what I earned instead of handing it out like Oprah. And the worst part? I started to believe them. I started to feel ashamed. Like I was actually doing something wrong by not setting myself on fire to keep everyone else warm. I paid for trips I didn't want to go on. I picked up tabs I couldn't afford. I overworked myself just to keep them happy. And it still wasn't enough. My mom called me one night and said, "You think you're better than us now, don't you?" Like, what? Because I don't want to be broke forever? Because I stopped letting everyone live off my wins? Because I dared to choose peace over pleasing people who only love me when I'm giving. That was the night something broke. Something loud. I cried. I screamed. I booked a week alone in a cabin by the lake. No Wi-Fi. No calls. No guilt. And when I came back, I was done. I cut off the guilt. Cut off the draining conversations. Stopped sending money just because. Stopped playing the family hero. And I told them, I love you. But love is not a lifetime subscription to my bank account. If you only value me when I'm paying for everything, then you don't value me, you value what I can give you. And I'm done being the giver while everyone else just takes. They didn't take it well. They called me selfish, cold. One cousin said I was turning into one of those fake LA people. Whatever that means. Another made a TikTok about fake influencer energy. Didn't mention me by name, but we all knew. I muted all the group chats. Took a break from social media. Didn't explain myself. Didn't argue. And guess what? My skin cleared up. My sleep got better. I laughed again. Like really laughed. Now I post what I want. I live how I want. I give when I want, not when someone guilts me into it. And my family? Some came around. Some disappeared. Either way, I'm not holding space in my life for people who only clap when they're getting something out of it. You ever have that moment where you realize someone you love isn't just taking advantage of you? They're building their whole life around your wallet? Yeah, took me way too long to get there. But when I did, it hit like a freight train. So here's how it started. I was 28, finally doing all right for myself after years of scraping by. Worked my way into a stable tech job, saved aggressively, lived cheap even though my paycheck said I didn't have to. No flashy car, no fancy apartment, no useless spending. I still wore the same sneakers I bought 5 years ago. I wasn't rich, but I was finally comfortable. And man, did it feel good. At first, my mom just needed a little help. Gas money, a small loan to fix a leaking sink, a couple $100 here and there for groceries. No big deal. I was glad to help. It felt good to finally be in a position where I could give back after everything she'd done for me growing up. But it didn't stop there. It grew. Like mold. Suddenly she needed money for things that didn't even sound real. An emergency upgrade to a smart fridge that could send texts. A must-have, top-tier stroller for my newborn baby brother, with seat warmers, built-in speakers, and some nonsense about adaptive wheel suspension, like she was buying a Range Rover for a literal infant. Meanwhile, my dad was buying himself new golf clubs. They were taking trips every month. Not just vacations, we're talking 5-star resorts, spa weekends, Vegas trips, just to relax. All while sending me texts like, "Hey sweetie, we're a little short this month. Think you could spot us $800? We'll pay you back." Spoiler. They never paid me back. Not once. At first, I didn't even notice how bad it was getting. It was just little by little. Slow enough that you excuse it. Well, they're family. Well, it's not that much money. Well, they need it more than I do. Meanwhile, I was over here budgeting like a maniac. Tracking every expense. Skipping vacations. Driving a 12-year-old Corolla that screamed every time I turned the ignition. Living carefully because I didn't want to end up broke again. I didn't even really get it until one night when I was on the phone with my mom. She mentioned offhandedly that they were planning another trip. To Europe this time. and she was hoping I could help cover flights. When I hesitated, she hit me with, "Well, you're the one with all the extra money." Like it was some kind of obligation. Like it was my job now. That night I sat down and did the math. I went back through my bank records. In the past 18 months, I had sent them just over $27,000. $27,000, while I was living like a broke college kid and they were living like goddamn Kardashians. It broke something in me. Like physically. I felt it snap. The anger wasn't loud. It was cold, sharp, surgical. The next morning, I applied for jobs overseas. I didn't even tell anyone. I just started the process. 3 months later, I accepted an offer in another country. Sold everything that didn't fit in 2 suitcases. Deleted old numbers. Changed my email. Moved. No long speeches. No dramatic final fights. Just gone. The last message I ever sent my mom was short, "I love you. But I can't be your bank anymore. I need to live my own life." I haven't spoken to them since. I hear from old family friends sometimes that they still don't understand why I left. That they thought I would always be there for them. That they miss me. Maybe they do. But you know what? I don't miss the endless requests. I don't miss the guilt trips. I don't miss feeling like an ATM with a heartbeat. I have a small apartment now in a quiet town. A used bike I ride to work. A coffee maker that cost $20 and works just fine. And I have something I never had before, peace. Real, undisturbed, beautiful peace. And not a single text asking for money. For the first time in my adult life, I'm living just for me. And it feels fucking incredible. It all started the moment I bought a nicer coffee machine. Not a mansion, not a Lambo, a goddamn coffee machine. And somehow that $300 splurge was enough for my entire family to smell blood in the water. One little Instagram story, me unboxing a cute pastel espresso maker, and boom. Chaos. Family group chats started buzzing like angry wasp nests. First came the congratulations. "You deserve it, sweetie. So proud of you, you're such an inspiration." I felt good for like 5 minutes. Then came the real reason for the sudden love bombing, requests. My phone turned into a hotline for entitlement. Not even subtle ones either. Straight up. "My daughter's birthday is next week, she's been dying for a new iPhone, you should surprise her. Your uncle needs a new TV, maybe you can chip in? Grandma's fridge is old, you know she'd love a new one. And the best one, you know. If you're making real money now, maybe you should host Christmas this year. And cover everything. LMAO, I'm sorry, did I win the lottery or did I just stop living paycheck to paycheck?" It got weirder. One day I came over for a family dinner, and people were low-key flexing problems like it was Shark Tank. "My car's making weird noises," says my aunt, staring directly at me. "My laptop's so slow I can barely work anymore," says my cousin, fake laughing while nudging my arm. "My vacation fund is looking sad," sighs another. Like, I swear they were about to start pitching PowerPoint decks titled, "Why I Deserve Your Money More Than Everyone Else." I laughed it off the first few times. Just smiled, changed the subject, tried to be chill. Didn't want to be that bitch who gets a little success and forgets her roots. But the pressure kept building. Calls from random relatives I hadn't spoken to in years. Awkward texts asking if I wanted to invest in their business ideas, translation. Give them free money so they can open a vape shop that would 100% fail in 6 months. At one point, my mom sat me down all serious and said, "You know, it's traditional for the first successful child to support the whole family. That's how it's always been." Like, girl, where was that tradition when I was maxing out credit cards and eating instant noodles for dinner? I snapped. Politely, but firmly. I told them I loved them. But my money wasn't a communal resource. That I'd built my shop from scratch, alone, at 3 a.m. while everyone else was sleeping or Netflix binging. That no one helped me when I needed a new laptop or couldn't afford basic groceries. And that I wasn't about to bankrupt myself trying to play Santa Claus for people who only started texting me once they thought there was something to gain. Some took it okay. Others? Not so much. I got passive-aggressive Facebook posts. Hearts grow cold when wallets grow full. Cringe. My aunt unfollowed me. My cousin posted a whole TikTok about fake successful people who don't help their family. Someone even called my dad crying about how I broke the family spirit. It was honestly hilarious. They acted like I burned the house down when I was just not funding their shopping sprees. Now I keep things even lower key. Private stories only for real friends. 0 posts about purchases. 0 updates about milestones unless you're in my actual life supporting me for real. And you know what? Best decision ever. I still have my coffee machine. I still have my savings. And I finally have peace. No group chats blowing up my phone. No guilt trips. No weird Shark Tank auditions over mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving. Just me, my work, and a very satisfying cup of espresso every damn morning. Funny how nobody gave a shit about me when I was broke. When I was eating dollar menu cheeseburgers and selling old Xbox games just to pay rent, not a single damn relative picked up the phone to check in. No, hey, you doing okay? No offers to help. Radio silence. But the second I started making real money, like flipping my life around money, suddenly every cousin, uncle, and half-forgotten family friend popped up like mushrooms after rain. Here's the full mess. In 2020, when everything was going to shit, I got lucky. I threw like $600 into crypto as a joke. Dogecoin, Ethereum, a few meme coins because why not? Forgot about it, honestly. Fast forward 2 years and I wake up one morning to a $400,000 balance on my trading app. First reaction? I thought it was a glitch. Second reaction? Pure panic. Third? I cashed that shit out so fast my phone almost caught fire. After taxes and some basic adulting, paying off loans, buying a used car, moving out of my roach-infested apartment, I had about $250,000 sitting pretty in my bank account. Nothing crazy rich, but for me, life-changing. I wasn't rich, but I was finally breathing. No more counting quarters for gas money. No more fighting collections agencies. At first, I kept it low-key. Just moved to a slightly nicer neighborhood, bought some new clothes, upgraded my laptop. Nothing flashy. I didn't want to be that guy flexing for Instagram. Hell no. I just wanted peace. But you know how it is. Word gets out, especially in families where everyone's nosy as hell and treats gossip like a competitive sport. First it was my Aunt Sheila. Hey sweetie, haven't heard from you in a while. Would you mind helping out with my car repairs? It's just $1,200. Then cousin Trey. Brew, you're killing it. Mind spotting me for a down payment on a dirt bike? Then my own freaking mom started dropping hints like anvils. Oh honey, you know, your uncle's been struggling. He might lose his house. Wouldn't it be nice if someone helped him out? At first, I tried to be polite. Sorry, I'm on a budget. I've got plans for that money. I need to make sure I'm secure first. But they did not take no for an answer. Suddenly I was selfish, ungrateful, turning my back on family. Sheila straight up posted some passive-aggressive Facebook rant about young people forgetting where they came from. I got side-eyed at family dinners. Cousin Trey spread a rumor that I won the lottery and didn't want to share. And it got worse. Second-tier relatives I hadn't seen since middle school started popping up. Old classmates. My ex's mom. One dude literally DM'd me like, yo bro, remember me? I used to drive you to school sometimes. Can I borrow $5,000 to start my clothing line? Bro, I was 12 when you drove me. Sit down. It messed with my head for a while. Made me second guess everything. Like, was I being an asshole? Was I really selfish? Should I just spread it around to keep the peace? And then I snapped out of it. I realized something. Where were they when I was selling blood plasma to pay rent? Where were they when my car broke down and I had to bike 6 miles to work in the rain? Nowhere. Not a call. Not a text. Not a dime. So you know what I did? I cleaned house. Blocked cousin Trey. Muted Aunt Sheila's endless guilt posts. Put every distant friend asking for handouts straight into the junk folder. Family barbecue invite? Politely declined. Instead, I took care of the people who actually gave a shit when I had nothing. My best friend Dylan, who let me crash on his couch rent-free when I got evicted. I paid off his student loans. My old neighbor Ms. Carter, who used to feed me dinner when she knew I was broke. I bought her a new fridge when hers broke down. Myself? I finally took a real vacation for the first time in my life. No guilt, no stress. It's funny, money didn't change me, it just showed me exactly who everyone else was. And now, I'm good. Good friends, good vibes, 0 leeches. I don't need 100 fake relatives pretending to love me. I'd rather have 5 real ones who don't even care about my bank balance.